I spent the last year using the Acer Swift 3 on a daily basis for writing scripts, running slides on my live streams, editing thumbnails for my videos, and the occasional on-the-go video edit. Basically, it has been my on-the-go productivity creator workhorse. I'm going to talk about a few things that I love and, unfortunately, a few that I hate.
Let's get rocking!
If you're new to the channel, my name is Benji Kaiser. This is where you're going to find the best tech and tools for creative professionals. Now, if at any point during this video you're getting some value, then it would be amazing if you would just gently press down on that like button. That always helps out, keeps this video going out to more people like yourself. Now, if you're curious about the exact pricing and availability of the Acer Swift 3, I've got affiliate links in the description below. And if you do use those, we'll get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. That's what keeps this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way. Now, let's kick things off on a positive note by talking about the things that I love. Then we can talk about the hates, and then we will look just at a few numbers and benchmarks to tune into the performance elements to see if this is the right laptop for you. Now, the battery is one of the top things I love most about this laptop. You can easily get 12 plus hours at half brightness. For example, I've taken a few road trips over the past year and worked while my wife drove, and I was able to work about a 9-hour day at half brightness. And at the end of the day, I had about 23% left on the charge. Not bad at all, right? And what makes this laptop even more on-the-go friendly is with just 30 minutes of charge time, you can get a battery life up to 4 hours of runtime, which is awesome. So you stop in, grab some lunch, grab a coffee, plug it in for 20, 30 minutes, and you can have 4 hours on the go again. Now, this is an all-aluminum laptop, and in today's day and age, there are a lot of budget all-aluminum laptops than there used to be. So what makes this little guy stand out is the Ryzen 7 8-core and 8-thread processor in the all-aluminum laptop and under or around $700. Again, if you want to check the live price, that's in the description below. Now, it's easy to open and close the hinge of the screen, and it has a singular hinge for increased reliability and durability that spans the entire bottom bezel. And over the past year, it has not received a single dent or scratch on any of the surfaces. And I'm not exactly the most gentle person when it comes to just things and items, and I drop and break a lot of stuff. Just ask my wife. It is thin and light as well. It weighs in about 2.65 pounds and at a thickness of 0.63 inches thick. It comes with all the necessary ports I need to run slides during my live streams: Thunderbolt, HDMI, USB Type-A, USB-C, headphone jack. I think I'm covering them all. If I'm not, again, you can check the specs. So it really is helpful. I can move around my office dongle free. However, this leads me to one of the things that I hate. First, I know this laptop is not a creator-focused laptop, but I am a creator, so I'm going to complain about the lack of an SD card slot. If it had one, I would be much happier with this laptop, and as it would make a dongle-free editing experience on the road easy breezy. The next obvious dislike really only applies to creative professionals such as video editors, designers, and photographers. This screen is not the most color accurate. Well, in fact, it's not that color accurate at all. And like I said, I know this is not a creator-focused laptop, but it really could be with a few adjustments, because creators are looking for a light and budget-friendly laptop just like this one. This is a full HD screen, and it can reach 253 nits at full brightness with a color gamut range of 64% sRGB, 47% Adobe RGB, and 47% DCI-P3, all at a Delta E of 3.82. Now, honestly, that Delta E is pretty good, because if you ask most creators, a Delta E less than 2 is really good for color accuracy. So the gamut range is the amount of range that it can reach, and then the Delta E is how accurate it reproduces the colors within that range. So although this doesn't have a big range of color gamut, it pretty accurately reproduces those colors for the lack of the range. Anyway, let's move forward before I ramble on too long there. The next and final two areas of disappointment before moving on to some more positive aspects, because I truly do like this laptop a lot. I just want to give you a super honest, transparent review and then let you decide if this laptop is right for you or not, because it very well may be, even with the complaints that I'm giving to you. The keyboard and trackpad are mushy, for a lack of a better term. When I slide my finger back and forth across the keycaps on the Swift 3, there's a lot of wobble. So when I hold my finger over the edge of the key, I can already begin to feel it depress. So whenever I press the key, I get kind of a mushy feeling that does not pop back with a strong snap. Now, typing on the Swift 3 is definitely a good experience, but it's not great. The trackpad faces a similar issue. The travel distance feels very short on the trackpad click, making it a little lackluster while dragging and dropping items during workflow and editing. I would say, as a creator, this is what makes the trackpad the hardest to work with. I found myself having to use like 2 fingers during different trackpad moves in order to get my design or edit or task finished smoothly. Now here is a quick sample of me using the keyboard and trackpad from an audio standpoint so you can hear it for yourself. So the trackpad is not a terrible experience, but it was enough of a hindrance to make me use a mouse along with the Acer Swift 3 as much as I possibly could. Now, if this video is bringing some value, like I said near the beginning of the video, gently press down on that like button. And if you're really loving this content, consider subscribing and turn on all notifications by using the bell icon so you don't miss out on a single upload. Now let's jump into the performance. The Acer Swift 3 comes with an AMD Ryzen 7 4700U with 8 cores and 8 threads. The AMD Radeon 7 graphics, 8 gigs of DDR4 RAM, 512 gig SSD. Now starting off, I'm going to showcase the Geekbench 5 scores of this thin and light laptop to show you how easily it can keep up with some of the bigger boys in the high performance processor category. In Geekbench 5 single core tests, you can see that this Ryzen 7 4700U is beating out the 2019 15-inch MacBook Pro with its i7 9750H processor, which is pretty fantastic. And it is coming in just behind the latest MacBook Pro 16, while ranking in the mid 1100s with laptops like the Predator Helios 300, Gigabyte Aero 15, while beating out each series equipped laptop, the Acer Nitro 5. Not bad for such a small, affordable laptop. On the multi-core benchmark, the Swift 3 held its own again by coming in above the 15-inch MacBook Pro and just behind the same powerful laptops during the single-core performance test. I'm thoroughly impressed by this little laptop. Getting into the design and photo editing benchmarks, I'm going to be using the Photoshop benchmark test from Puget Systems. As you can see, it handles the individual tasks very well. I use the Photoshop benchmark to see how well a laptop can handle the most intensive tool in Adobe's design suite. If a laptop can perform well in Photoshop, it will handle InDesign and Illustrator with ease. As you can see, this laptop sits on the lower end of my laptop test results, but don't let that scare you away. Remember, this is a thin and light, ultra power conserving laptop that will give you performance and longevity during your creative tasks. So although it is sitting below some of the monster gaming laptops, it is no slouch in apps such as Adobe Design Suite, Affinity Photo, SketchUp, Figma, and more. Now let me show you what I mean. Concerning the multitasking, this laptop is able to run Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator simultaneously. I'm using roughly 7% of the CPU, 71% of the RAM, and only 8% of the integrated graphics. Now, as I start to conduct some work inside of InDesign, you can see that it will rise up to around 12%, but as soon as I step out of the program, it settles back down. So regarding multitasking, handles it well. Okay, let's take things a step further and see if we can push this laptop to run some video edits. Unfortunately, I was unable to get smooth 4K video editing playback with this laptop. During 4K playback and scrubbing, it dropped 14,837 of the 16,177 frames, making the edit nearly impossible. So I am deeming this a laptop for 1080p video editing, not 4K. For the playback scrubbing test in Premiere Pro, I will take a 9-minute 1080p clip with 16,177 frames, 7,240 of those frames being motion design, motion graphics, and then I will play it back at full, half, and fourth quality. Full quality, it saw drop frames of 1,557, half quality 171, and at fourth quality 113. Due to the lack of dedicated GPU, I was not able to get 100% smooth playback in the timeline for 1080p at full quality playback. But at half and fourth quality, I didn't even notice the drop frames, making this laptop very suitable for 1080p video edits. In DaVinci Resolve, the playback was smooth as well. However, there is not a drop frame indicator as far as I know. If you do know of one, please comment below. I'd love to add that to future video reviews. So, I'm unable to put on the drop frames, but it was smooth. Now let's test out the export times. I'm going to take the 9-minute 1080p clip, place it into Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve using the free version of Resolve, and then export it out at 1080p YouTube settings. Premiere Pro 1080p to 1080p took 2 minutes and 32 seconds. DaVinci Resolve took 5 minutes and 23 seconds. I'm seriously impressed by this little laptop. It is a beast for the build and price point. So what about the noise and thermals? The Acer Swift 3 had 0 fan noise at idle. During web browsing, occasionally kicked on to 35 to 40 decibels, but not often. For the Photoshop benchmark test, it jumped up to about 47 decibels during some of the tasks that were more intensive. And then for the Premiere Pro 1080p export, it was 45 decibels And for the DaVinci Resolve 1080p export, it was 45 decibels. Now, being that this laptop was running a tad on the noisy side, I was happy to see that the thermals made up for some of that noise. The export out of Premiere Pro stabilized nicely, as well as the Photoshop temperatures. The Acer Swift 3 has served me very well this past year. Besides a few nuances of annoyance, such as the keyboard and trackpad, I continue to recommend this laptop because it has so much good going for it. Now, this laptop is a great fit for business owners, students, and creators needing a light on-the-go laptop that can handle just about whatever you throw at it. Now, if you're considering this laptop for complex 4K video editing projects, doing some motion design and 3D modeling, please don't get this laptop. That's just a silly expectation. I recommend like the Acer Predator Helios 300 or the Acer Nitro 5, as these laptops come with dedicated GPUs, which will give you more stability and smoother editing, export times, all the works. Now, if you're curious about the exact price and availability of this laptop, you can head down in the description below and click that link. And as always, if you do make a purchase, I will get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. Let's keep this channel alive and helpful content coming your way. Until next time, you can click or tap the screen over here for more videos. Otherwise, keep editing, keep designing, keep creating. I'm Benji Kaiser, and I'll see you here in the next one.